Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. It's going to cover a huge amount of ground. Today's video, we're going to go right from May all the way to August, can you believe, because we have the update from the Korean model, the 3-monthly update from the Korean model, and I thought I'd give you a bit of a sneak peek at it today. It will be making up part of the summer forecast, the summer forecast coming up towards the end of the month, probably a week or so on Sunday, something like that. But I thought I'd give you a sneak peek at it today because it's just updated, and why not have a look at it. We're also going to have a look at the shorter range time frame over the next week to 10 days, so a lot going on in today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Before I get on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising of this video ads on my pages at GazWebVids.com. If you hit play on that video ad, you'll be supporting GazWebVids.com. Thanks so much for doing that. The video ad should be changing, so you shouldn't be stuck with the same one over and over again. You should get different ads appearing. Just hit play. You don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing all the way through, but it does help to support GazWebVids. It helps me to sit here talk to you via the website, so thanks so much for getting involved and doing that. So it starts off with the 500 millibar height anomalies for the next 8 to 10 days. The mean flow of the 500 millibar flow. We've got the ECMWF here over on the left, and the GFS is over on the right. This will be taking us somewhere to around the 24th of May, so a long way out. And it's very obvious what's going on here. We've got a very deep trough of low pressure on the ECMWF sitting at more or less over the top of the country for 8 to 10 days time. That will be bringing a lot of rain, it will be bringing heavy showers as well, and with the trough digging down like that, it would be pretty cool. The GFS is also very similar, deep trough of low pressure around British Isles, actually a little bit more centrally located, but both of them really have the same idea, which is that after a drier spell, warmer spell coming up at the end of this week, things will deteriorate markedly over the weekend, and into the start of next week, it's going to turn really very unsettled indeed. Notice all of this northern blocking as well, sitting up to the north of the country. If we'd had that in winter, we'd have had a very, very different type winter. It would have been a much colder and more wintry winter if that northern blocking had been there. But anyway, for us, for the next 8 to 10 days' time, it's starting not too bad, fairly warm, but it is going to deteriorate. Let's have a look at the 10-day anomaly chart, or weekend anomaly chart, I should say, temperature anomaly chart, taking us from today, the 13th of May, Tuesday the 13th, through to Wednesday the 21st, and we see that we're going to be more or less around, or maybe even a little bit below average, and this does take into account the warm-up that's coming up at the end of the week. On Friday could get really quite warm indeed, with temperatures possibly popping up to 23, 24 degrees into the mid-70s Fahrenheit. So even taking that into account, still the anomaly over next week is going to be a little bit below average. And notice how cool, or even quite cold, it is across most of Europe, really stretching all the way from the north of Spain over towards the east of Europe. Temperature anomalies coming in below average. Have to go to central and some parts of Spain, and also up over Scandinavia and western Russia to find the anomalies coming out above average. And most of Europe is going to be really quite cool this week. So having a quick look at the generic charts for the next sort of 8-10 days time. This is how we go into the weekend with high pressure over the country. So for midnight Saturday from the GFS model, high pressure will build in nicely for a few days this week. And as I say, it's going to turn really quite warm. These are the maximum temperatures for Friday. This is suggesting 21, 22. Possibly could increase a little bit more, maybe up to 23 or 24. It will be very dependent on sunshine, though. I think it could be a lot of cloud under this high pressure, so not particularly sunny, and that could limit the temperature potential. Nevertheless, it is going to be a very warm end to the week for the time of year. Not a heat wave, I have to emphasise that. It won't be hot, but it is going to be warm for the time of year. But the weekend, things will deteriorate. That high pressure pulling out into the Atlantic, allowing this trough of low pressure to sink down from the north. So by the time you get through to the start of next week, Monday the 19th, low pressure is firmly in over the country, bringing showers along the Spain. And that's how we go through next week. Really, that trough of low pressure sitting over the country. There'll be showers rotating around this, maybe some longer spell rain as well. And we end up Friday the 23rd of May, day 10. Still with low pressure anchored to the north of Scotland. Quite a deep low pressure there, so very unsettled and quite cool with more showers along spells. And that's just heading into the bank holiday weekend as well. And by the way, if you're interested in the weather for the bank holiday weekend, come back to the events page this evening, because I'll have an update on the bank holiday weekend on the events page this evening. But certainly going up to it, the latest one for GFS looks very unsettled. Here's the ECMWF at high pressure in over the country to start the weekend, but it's not going to last. The high pressure pulls out into the Atlantic, allows this low pressure sink down across the country through the weekend, so turning unsettled from the northwest over the weekend. Maybe not too bad a weekend in the far southeast, but most places will deteriorate over the weekend. By the time you get through to next week, that low pressure is in over the country. Saw it on the 500 mile height anomaly flow chart. Low pressure sitting right over the country, so it'll be cool, it'll be unsettled, there'll be showers along with spells of rain, and as we go through the week, that low pressure really sticks around, keeping it on the unsettled side. We end up on day 10, Friday the 23rd of May, still with low pressure more or less dominating, lots of northern blocking up over Greenland as well. Winds are going into the southwest, so it's becoming a little bit less cold, or a little bit milder, but really that's an unsettled chart even out to day 10. Quite warm air though, appearing across Europe. Now let's just have a quick look at the career model. As I say, it's updated for the next 3 months today, so we're going to go through June, July and August with this. This is sea level pressure anomalies from the Korean model. I'll just zoom in again a little bit more so you can see. This is sea level pressure anomalies for the next month. So let's start off with June, and what we've got for June is quite a lot of northern blocking there across the northern hemisphere, or to the north of the country. Unusually though, that normally northern blocking would be bad news in a summer month, but unusually that northern blocking is sort of extending down across the British Isles. That's the British Isles just there, so actually under quite a bit of high pressure there. The low pressure is pinned out into the Atlantic. It's quite a bizarre sort of anomaly, but that will be pretty dry and quite warm, to be honest. Even with the northern blocking, it wouldn't be too bad a month. It's quite a big flip around though on what the Korean model was going for last month, when June looked very unsettled. But it's a decent enough anomaly. We'd be looking at quite a warm and dry month there for June. As we go through to July, we start to see the northern blocking intensifying a little bit more actually to the north of the country. So look how red the colours are going to the north of Scandinavia. Very impressive northern blocking man, and extending out to Greenland as well. Pressure is weakening over the British Isles, so what could be happening there is that we're starting off still under the pattern from June, largely dry in that high pressure, mainly dry conditions, and then we could be starting to see a deterioration through July, with perhaps this trough of low pressure out in the Atlantic becoming a little bit more influential. So July could be something of a transitional month, starting with the pattern we have in June, which is largely dry and warm, and then maybe deteriorating as we go through the month. And then finally going on into July, the sea level pressure anomaly looks like this. It deteriorates a lot in August, and it turns much more unsettled. We get the blue colours appearing over the country. That's a trough of low pressure sitting there over the country. Still got bags of northern blocking up to the north, so it does look like there'll be plenty of northern blocking this summer if this is right. And although it doesn't start off too bad, it deteriorates as you would expect with northern blocking through the summer. That trough is extending down into Central Europe as well, so the jet stream is presumably doing something like this, going around there and digging down through into central parts of Europe. That's a pretty cool anomaly for August. We'll be bringing the winds in from the northwesterly direction. We're under trough of low pressure, so it will be unsettled as well. Now that's very speculative, it's a long way off, but the idea is there from the Korean model, I think, that the summer is starting off okay, not too bad for June, could be above average in terms of temperatures, and probably quite dry as well. July's the transitional month. We get to August and we're in a cool and unsettled sort of pattern. That's how the Korean model, I think, is shaping up. But of course, it's only one model. It's does flip and flop around quite a lot as well, so it's not to be relied upon. We'll include it in the summer forecast that I'll be doing towards the end of the month. We will include this in the summer forecast. There'll be many more models then as well. But I thought you'd like to have a sneak peek at it today. That's all for now. It's a 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. And of course, tonight on the events page, we will be having a look at Bank Holiday weekend. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.